All right, you grasshoppers. Yes, very close to 10 o'clock. We're within, what we got? Within 5 minutes of 10 o'clock. We're with the, we got the True Grit Life podcast here, and we've got the one and only, the famous, the machine, the most popular player to play Survivor of season 39, the great Elaine Stott.
Yeah. I feel like you give me the same intro. You're going to have to mix your stuff up.
No, I added, no. We'll go back. We'll review the tape.
You added the word machine. Doesn't make it different.
Machine, great. There's a few other things in there.
Yeah.
How you doing? A little tired today?
Yeah, look at I'm all. Yeah. I'm here though.
So that's Thursday mornings when the Survivor's on Wednesday night. You stay up watching that. What's your guy's name from Kentucky there? What's his name again that's on the show?
Nick Wilson.
He's kind of a whiner. He's whining a little bit last night, wasn't he?
What? I thought it was funny because he's like, I want revenge.
Yeah.
I thought for sure he was gonna go home.
Yeah.
But he just got mad and he's like, "Yo, I'm not taking this crap no more." Yeah. So.
But don't you think that kind of? I don't know if it matters now, but it's kind of like it kind of hurts him a little bit. Like he says that to other players, like that Tony guy, right? Like Tony's looking for any reason at all to go after anybody.
Yeah, well, I was surprised they didn't vote him, but I think that Adam had showed enough. And then Adam threw out Sarah's name, and once somebody throws out your name, so I think Sarah was like hell bent on getting them out after that because that's usually how it happens when somebody throws your name out.
That was kind of like that show last night. Was kind of like the one. It was when Chelsea got voted off on ours, but you were talking about at the tribal council that was Plan Z that ultimately. That's what was going on yesterday, right? There's all those different plans going on.
That's basically probably they probably ran out of time, and it was like the last name that they heard before they went to tribal. Those tribals are crazy when it's like that, though.
Yeah, they are. All the getting up and talking and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. So it was fun. The season's actually like a lot better than a lot of the old ones. You know what I mean? Like it's a really good season. So
there's a certain level of drama, right? Like, I mean, you watch some of the old shows, and I always thought like the games evolved so much where I thought the old shows where there wasn't as much, the deceit going on. It seemed like it was more like forming alliances. And as it's gone on, it's like, man, you just don't trust.
Yeah, it's not it's like no point in even forming one. It's like,
yeah,
you might as well just fly by the seat of your pants.
That's true. Yeah, totally. Yeah. What's the point of having an alliance unless like you kind of you needed me so bad, so you had to form an alliance with me.
No, I was trying to protect the elderly. Like I got a soft spot for old people.
Okay, like maybe get a job with the AARP or something like that.
Yes, I totally should do that. See, all these commercials I could be doing, Tom.
Yeah, that would be a good one, right? Have me kind of wandering around aimlessly through the woods there, and then you come save me, and then you're representing AARP and everything. Yeah, I like that.
See, we need to start shooting videos or something.
All right. Well, you got to get up earlier.
I told you, I fell asleep on the couch,
and
then I woke up at like 1, and I went to bed. And I usually fall asleep with Survivor on my TV in my bedroom.
Right.
And I was like, no, I'm tired. I'm not even going to turn the TV on because if I start watching, I may stay up because I was really tired. And the youngin was back here in the back bedroom.
All right, we lost Elaine there.
Hooting and hollering.
Oh, we lost you.
Yeah. But the youngin was back in the bedroom playing his video game, and he was hooting and hollering and carrying on.
Oh.
And after about 20, 30 minutes, I was like this. So I turned Survivor on. I thought, well, I'll turn Survivor on. That way I can fall asleep and drown him out, And so I stayed up till 6 this morning. So now I'm like so tired. I just want to go to sleep.
So
I said 10 o'clock, and here I am.
So at 6 o'clock you go to bed though? Like you'll fall asleep at 6?
Yeah, and the last time I looked at the clock, it was right before 6 o'clock.
Oh. And Tanya's not working, right? She's
not working.
Right. All right.
She's not working. That's the honey to do list that she's giving me left and right.
Good. About time.
Yeah.
I'd given you a list too of things to do, but that kind of list, did you throw that list away?
Yeah, but she feeds me, Tom. You don't feed me.
I give you spiritual. I fill you up spiritually is what it is.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, I'm not gonna tell the woman that cooks my dinner not that I'm not doing something. Are you crazy?
Yeah, you have no problem telling me you're not
See,
doing
this is why you're single. This is why you're single. Is because I listen whenever she says, "Oh, well, we should do this and we should do that." I'm like, "Okay, honey, that
well,
okay,"
that's
and
because you know how to
you're
cook.
like,
I know how to cook. I know how to clean. I shop myself.
I know how to do those things too. But if she's gonna do them for me and love me to death enough to cook for me, then
That's true.
why would I bite that hand? Or
Interesting way of looking at things. Yeah.
yeah. So
So okay, let's get right to it. How's the porch? Did you get to the porch?
we worked on the porch. We put the deck on the front and got the beams up for the roof and stuff. And then we ran out of boards for the front, and then we built the frame and stuff for the back. The back's just going to be a little bitty deck with some stairs coming off of it. But and then yesterday it was supposed to storm and the sky was black like all day.
Right.
So I went and done some other stuff, some painting and some stuff like that, and then it didn't even rain. So we're gonna work on it actually today after the podcast here.
We're getting the rain here today. So you didn't have breakfast yet, then, right? You just got up, no breakfast.
Nope. I just woke up, drank a little Mountain Dew to give me a little.
You did not, really.
I had to get a drink, Tom. I had to. It was a must.
You got the smoothie going on here, the protein powder, the avocado, the banana with the skin on it. Oh, by the way, I researched it because you want to know what the mineral or the nutrients were of the skin of the banana. So potassium, fiber, and amino acids.
In the banana peel.
In the banana peel. So a third of the benefits of the banana are actually the peel. So
wait, you're the only person I've ever heard do that. Like maybe there's other people out in the world that does that, but that's so weird to me.
No, it's
like, oh, I love watermelon. I'm gonna eat this rind. Oh.
Yeah, if it's put good things in your body, get good things out.
I know, but a banana peel, come on, like.
Apparently, I researched it since our conversation the other day.
So you was eating it before you even knew that it had stuff in it. So how weird is that?
Well, okay, here's what happened. So I
know what happened. You was either one had too much tequila and you're like, oh, banana, or two, you literally, because you got the Alzheimer's, you literally forgot to take the pill off, and then you're like, I think this is great for me. I'm gonna eat this.
None of the above. So we have this thing called Google. So my bananas were going bad. So I said, hey, Google, can I freeze my bananas? And Google came back very nicely. He said, yes, Tom, whatever you want. You're the greatest in the whole world. That's the way my Google talks.
Sure, that's what she says.
And she says, you can freeze your bananas. She said, the skin will go brown, but the meat inside will stay good. I said, thank you very much there, you follower of Tom.
You probably program your Google to like worship you.
Yeah, to say nice things about me. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got nobody else. See, this goes back to you not having any friends too, because it's like you've got nobody to be like, Tom, you're so cool. You're so great. So you're like, Google, please, every time I ask you a question, tell me how fantastic I am.
Right. So that's exactly. So I don't need anybody else because I can cook myself. Like Google talks back to me. It says how great I am. She doesn't argue with me. Doesn't find any flaws with me whatsoever. So she's good.
No flaws. I'm sure Alexa's like, or Google, whoever you talk to, is probably like, please get a friend. I'm sure.
So the best is if somebody does come over, rarely, I'll say, hey, Google, who's Tom Laidlaw? And then she talks about, Tom Laidlaw played in the National Hockey League, Elaine Stout's best friend and all that kind of stuff. And then whoever is there with me, I'll go with who is, my son, who is Shane Laidlaw? And Google says, I don't know anything. So makes me feel good that Google knows.
Really? Do you really do that? You probably do. You probably do. I can foresee it now. You invite a girl over, she comes over, and you're like in the kitchen. You're like, hey, Google, and just to give some fun facts about Tom, thinking that this is romantical. You're like, oh, this is going to be so romantical. This girl's going to fall in love with, dude. You're seriously, Tom. Like, I went to college for psychology, right? I think that me and you should talk.
Did you go to college for psychology?
Yeah.
Really?
That's what yeah.
Is that what you called me a sociopath there last week? You told me a sociopath.
You have no empathy. It's like weird. It's like it's like this. I think Tom is borderline Sociopath.
Well, but empathy is one of those things like for like a guy, it's like, okay, somebody comes to you with a problem, like there's a solution to the problem. I mean, I care about their issues, but let's find the solution. Let's
Yeah. Listen, people don't always get my sense of humor. So, like I bust Tommy's chops from the show, Tommy Sheehan. And I tell people like he's annoying. Yeah, he gets on my nerves. He's a fame whore, this, and this. But I love Tommy. I think Tommy's a great guy. But people on Reddit really believe, I guess because I dog him so much, people on Reddit believe that I don't like Tommy and that me and Tommy have a problem. So I don't want people to get confused. I think Tom is a fantastic person.
Really?
I think Laidlaw is a great guy, and I hugged his neck when he was crying on the beach on the island about missing his girl and this and this. Of course, that one didn't work out, but I don't want people to think that I don't like you because I give you a hard time. So I just wanted to put that preface to it before I say that you're full of shit. Basically. And you are egomaniac sometimes. You're like, oh yeah. So just as long as I tell the people that I really do like you, but
I'm glad you cleared that.
I mean, that was a compliment. That was
I'm glad you cleared it up. Yeah. No, I remember we went for casting, and we go through the whole casting process for Survivor, and we were at the meeting with your little buddy there, Proby, Dimple Boy, and a couple of CBS women were there, and he asked them, "So what do you?" I'm there, and they said, "Well, what do you think of him?" And the one woman goes, "Well, I like him. He's confident but not cocky." And the other woman goes, "Oh no, he's totally cocky." And I was like, "Yes, exactly. That's what we want."
See, that's what you do. You give women the wrong impression. One you gave that you was cocky, and the other one that you had a lack of confidence. It's like, who are you?
I'm a sociopath. Apparently, I didn't know that. There's no empathy. So the fact that I'm a sociopath, that's got nothing to do with the lack of empathy. That's
exactly what it is, ain't it?
Oh,
ain't it? Sociopath. They have no capabilities of showing empathy whatsoever.
Right. No,
and,
see,
you fit that criteria.
No, I don't think so. I think the issue is that it's like
I'm just glad you're murdering bananas and not murdering people. That's all.
I'm just trying to think that if once I open the floodgates to this empathy thing.
Okay. So now we're getting somewhere. See, this is how therapy works. Is like we say something and plant a little seed, and it kind of just blossoms into something. So you stumbled on something, Tom. You got some deep rooted stuff that you need to get off your chest.
Right.
And I think you need to do another round of Survivor because 3 days you were crying out there. So it's like, I think you need to get back on and let that beast out and get that monkey off your back.
Well, you and I could work it out. So I think so. I've pretty much figured out myself. I mean, I'm pretty much perfect except for this empathy thing. Right?
Pretty much perfect. Right. I don't know. I think you might be a little off the mark, but who am I?
But I think the problem is, though, not that there's no empathy. It's just that there's like once I open the door to the empathy, there's too much. It just comes flowing out, and I'm empathetic towards everybody. Right?
Yeah. You ever watch? I know you've seen it because you're old, but you ever seen those old school cartoons where you got that big dog that's like, oh, I'm gonna love him and hold him and squeeze him, and you know what I mean? So you're doing like this. You're squeezing the crap out of empathy because you're afraid of what might come out. Okay, I get it.
Well, what would I be afraid of? Was my feelings? Like I'm going to start hugging trees and
I don't know. I think you're afraid. I think you're afraid to let your feminine side out. I think. Yeah. Tom Laidlaw is feminine side. I think you're scared of that.
No, I'm not. No, I embrace it totally.
Yeah, I hear you. I can totally see you. Like dressing up in
I put an apron on in the kitchen and when I'm cooking and everything, when I'm looking at my smoothies and.
Yeah, well, you only do that because you have no friends and no lady friend to come over and cook for you.
No.
And remember, I like you, so this is why.
Imagine if you didn't like me. Imagine if you seriously. Imagine if we got on the island there together and we hated each other. How what would have happened?
Yeah, well, I tell people, I was like, yo, if I bust your chops and give you a hard time, that means I like you. I don't know what it is. I think it's because I was raised by my brothers, and it's like that tough love kind of thing. you know.
Yeah. Well, if
And
you're gonna be our friend, I'm the same way. If you're gonna be our friend, then you have to understand that we joke around and we expect to give it back too. It's just a one-way street. Well, with
yeah.
you, it's a one-way street. You get kind of emotional if I pick on you.
No, I mean, if I would feel bad if I was busting your chops all the time and you never said a smart remark back,
Yeah,
because then I would feel like I was totally bullying you.
right.
You know.
Exactly. Who do you think was the most sensitive out there on the 20 players?
Lauren was super sensitive.
Lauren?
Yeah, like that. Lauren was crying every other day over.
Right.
She touched a fish. She'd be like, "Oh my god!" You know, like just different stuff. Karishma was emotional in some senses.
Yeah, she was pouring out her emotions and talking about her life and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Lauren's emotion, it was a little different, but sometimes it would be funny because she'd like, Tommy, and then Tommy would literally do whatever she said, and it was she was like the island princess, you know what I mean? Like,
really? Oh, well.
Yeah.
I didn't quite figure out. I don't know if I still have it. Is Nora? Like, there's a lot of different. There's some multiple personalities there.
Right? Nora's a nut. She really is. But she's exactly the same way in real life that she was on the island. Like, she's just, you know what I mean? Like, but she's cool. I like Nora. She's
it's fun.
She can be super focused. Like, she does all her those what is it, the freshie bars and stuff like that. Like, once she sets her mind to something, like, she makes stuff happen. So she's got drive and determination, which are great things to have. And she's just a kook, like, she's just a strange individual, but you gotta love her,
What about our boy Roddy? He's hilarious. He's funny, man. When he started going through that, all the jobs he had and everything, when he traveled with us.
Oh yeah, dude, I bet you he named like 20 jobs, and then he got on the kick where he got so infatuated with how funny he was.
I know. He's
so every night we would go to bed and he'd be like, yeah, it's official. I'm officially the sixth funniest person in the tribe. And I'd be like, well, who's the like? And we would all laugh, and he would be like, okay, Elaine's number one funny, and then Tom, and then so he would go down the list, and every night he was bumping himself further down the list because of whatever happened during the day. It was so funny. Ronnie's great. I really like Ronnie.
Yes, I agree totally. Yeah, I got to know him more after the show. We roomed together in Australia, and he was funny. But it's funny. He just says some things sometimes. It's like where do you come? Like, how did you say that?
I don't know where he gets his stats from, And that's what I told him. I was like, "Who voted on these stats, Ronnie? Like, what's?" And he would be so frustrated because he's like, in real life, I consider myself to be a really funny guy, and it was like his feelings was hurt or something. Because me and you would joke around so much, and I don't know, but I think Ronnie's cool shit, and I think that I think I need him to teach me how to play poker because that boy is one hell of a poker player.
Yeah, he is. He's very good. He was fun because we roomed together, and I thought when I got voted out and came back to Ponderosa, I thought I made it very clear to him. Like, everybody wanted to know, okay, how did I get it voted out? What was going on? And I thought I made it really clear to him that you and I in particular got Ronnie voted out.
Yeah.
So we're in Australia. We're rooming together. We were there like 3 weeks. And we must have been there like a week or whatever. And all of a sudden, he came back to the room one night. He'd been talking to, I think it was Chelsea and Vince. And they were talking.
No.
And they had told him, yeah, Tom got you voted out. And I thought he already knew that. So he comes back to the room and he goes, you got me voted out? And I'm going, well, yeah, Ronnie, I told you. And he was funny.
Dude, Ronnie's like a jack of all trades. Like, he is somebody that could literally do anything. The cat can sing, he can beatbox. He's rapping, he plays poker. He's had 50 million jobs, so he's done a little bit of everything. Yep. And he's just a cool guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when this Coroni's over, I might head out to Vegas to hang out with old Ronnie. I need somebody to teach me how to play poker.
They were funny. I wasn't there because I was sitting by myself all the time, as you know. But they all got together and they're watching the videos on YouTube, and they found an old video of mine that's a practical jokes video, and it's an old video, obviously. So like, I would put baby powder in the hair dryers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
games, and they showed this.
You was a bully. I called it a couple episodes ago. I called it. You was a bully. You picked on people a lot. You know, and you're like, wow, that's so funny.
So in one of the scenes, I put shaving cream on the phone. And the person would come to get the phone, and they put the shaving cream up, and it gets them in the ear. So they saw this video probably about 3 or 4 days before we left to come back to LA. And so he waited until I had packed all our bags. We were about to leave. He waited so I couldn't get him back. And he set it up that he put shaving cream on his phone, and then had somebody like pretend that somebody had called.
Yeah, it's probably Chelsea.
Yeah. So I go grab the phone and grab it and put shaving cream up in my ear. And I was thinking, at the time, I was like, how did he know to do that? You know, and then he finally told me that, you know, they
was watching videos of you. Yeah. Well, you're lucky you didn't watch the videos of you throwing elbows and throwing fists and stuff, or you'd have caught a little different.
That's right. Anybody that came within my social distancing 6 feet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
like this, 6 feet, right?
For 60 years, I practiced. Now all of a sudden, it's a big thing. Everybody's doing it. I've been doing it for 60 years.
Yeah. So when do you think we're gonna get out of this?
Ooh, well, I think it was the mayor of San Francisco made a comment today, or yesterday, or whatever, that he didn't think there'd be any pro sports until Thanksgiving in San Francisco. That was his opinion. Now that's one man's opinion. That's pretty.
Don't take my football.
No, I know.
Please don't take my football. Corona, I hate Corona because this bitch is taking everything.
Well, it's just that. Like we talked about before, my concern is how does it end? I mean, you like in a city like New York, you've got all these homeless people, hundreds of thousands of homeless people. They talk about getting vaccines for everybody, getting everybody tested, but how do you go round up all the homeless people, find out where they are even? It's not like they have an address, you can track them down.
So they're talking like this is going to ride. I had heard that, you know, I think the president said something about it lasting until at least August.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the entire summer.
Yeah.
And, man, I don't know. I'm going to get my boat out and go to the lake and go swimming.
Right. I think they say here in New York that the number of deaths per day continues to rise, but the number of people being put into hospitals, that's slowing down. So that's a good sign anyways, that the new cases aren't increasing. But again, it's just like, the problem is, we've talked about this before, you got so many different parts of the country that, a city like New Orleans, now they're talking about the disproportionate number of cases for people of color, Hispanics and Black, as opposed to whites. And they're suspecting maybe it's partly that more of the Blacks and Hispanics are the ones that are out working, they can't afford to stay home. That's some of the stuff that they've said. So if that trend continues, it just to me, I think to myself, how does it end? But obviously, we talked about before too that they had the Spanish flu in 1918, and that ended at some point. Somehow it stopped.
You remember that, right? You was around for that one, weren't you?
See what
I literally view you as my grandpa. You're my grandpa. I'm gonna start calling you Papaw.
Smoothie, baby. That's where it's at. Avocado, banana. Seriously, who else would think of eating a whole banana? Like this is like, it wasn't like somebody else said it. Like wasn't said to you, Tom, why don't you eat a whole banana? I said, no, I'm going to eat a whole banana.
I told you, your old timers kicked in, and you forgot to take the pill off, and you're like, and
what am I going to think of next? I'm going to think of something else that nobody else does. Well, like I said, that's the social distancing thing. That was my thing for 60 years. Eating the banana peel is my thing.
Well, it's like, the peanuts, instead of taking them out of their shell, you're just going to start.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. How about a whole egg, like the shell and everything? I've already.
Have you ever done the raw egg stuff?
Yeah, totally.
You have, because you're a meathead.
Yeah, totally. Oh, I was even more of a meathead before. So like when Rocky was doing the whole thing, I would have to outdo Rocky. So I would eat like the whole egg, put a whole egg in my mouth and eat it, the shell and everything.
Really?
Yeah. Really intelligent stuff. I mean, yeah, I'm real proud of myself for that.
Literally, you would eat the shell and all just to try to be cool.
Yeah, no, be cool, not to try to be cool. I would be cool.
And who's the morons that was telling you that was a great idea and you're so awesome for doing that?
I don't think
Your
I.
hockey buddies? It was your hockey buddies. Wasn't it?
Here's part of the thing, though. I didn't pay attention to somebody else's opinion. That's probably why I didn't stop. I really didn't care what anybody else was thinking. So,
Oh,
you know,
I don't even know how it's possible that you've ever had anybody to like you. And you know, you got 2 kids,
yeah,
and it's like, are they like, man, my dad is such a
wonderful human being.
yeah.
I want to be just
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Hey, growing up, was you a spanker growing up?
Getting spanked?
Like, no, did you spank your kids? Was you
no,
more into like?
My youngest son tries to claim that I used to beat him with a metal spoon when he was really young, but then it was maybe one of those things that I tapped him on the rear end one time with a spoon when he did something wrong. But he's pretty funny. He tries to build the scenario that I was always like.
Yeah, well, my daddy was an old redneck daddy, so it's like you pissed him off, and he'd chase you down the street and tackle your ass and beat the hell out of you.
My mother was the one. Did I tell the story about my mother spanking me? Did I tell you when we got?
I don't think so.
Oh God! So I was a kid. I must have been like 6 years old or something like that. Bunch of the kids in the neighborhood, like out there in the farm country, nobody locks their doors, right? So these neighbors left. So we broke into their house and we stole raw bacon and orange juice. And then we put underneath the hay wagon and ate the raw bacon and orange juice. So my sister went home and told my mother that I'd done this. I went home and my mother, she spanked me and spanked me good. And so I'm down in my room. She says, if your father comes home from farming, I'm going to tell him what you did. And if he doesn't go down and spank you, then I'm coming back down to spank you again. So I was this little kid. My father, he's a monster. He's like 6'4". So I hear him the footsteps coming down the hallway, going to the bedroom, and the tears start coming. I'm putting on the show, and everything. Yeah. And he gets to the door. He turns around, walks back, and I hear him say to my mother in the kitchen, "I can't. He's down there crying. I can't spank him again. You already did it once." She marched down the hallway again. She spanked me again. She didn't care if I was crying or not. She was going to teach me a lesson. It was good.
Yeah, listen, my daddy, he worked so many hours. My dad worked like 15, 16-hour days. Yeah. So whenever he would come home, it's like he would find all this stuff out that we had been doing during the day. Right. A lot of it would be like, in a school period of say like you had 45 days, I would miss like 30 days. Right. Well, when those notes would come home from school, we just throw them away. Right. Dad wasn't home then. Well, if something would have happened and we got expelled or whatever, and eventually whatever would happen, he would eventually find out about it, through the grapevine or through whatever. And so when he come home, sometimes it was like he would just clean house. He would just whoop the whole house. You know what I mean? It's like your brother got in a fist fight with the neighbor. Your other brother's out doing this, and I'm across the street fist fighting with this one. And so he would just come home and whip the whole house. You know what I mean? And I felt bad after when we got older, because we had given him such grief. Right. He was a single man raising 4 kids, and we were hell on wheels. And he done everything he could to put food on the table. And because he was gone so much, we literally got as much trouble as you can think of. Like, we were so bad. And he probably should have whooped us a lot more than what he did. You know what I mean? Because the shit we got into was just yeah. You couldn't have made it up. You know what I mean? It's like, where in the hell are these kids coming up with these ideas and whatever? I feel bad for my dad because, he done everything he could and he worked his ass off. And he was just struggling to make ends meet. And he done everything he could not to get us taken, because after a while we started getting in trouble with like social services and stuff because we wasn't going to school and this, that, and the other. And at one point, he literally had to send all of us off to different relatives. And that was the first time I had came to live with my grandpa, because he was so close to losing us. Oh. And I come up to my grandpa's, and my brothers went up north in Lexington to my other grandparents. And after about a year, we came back, and he had changed jobs. He had moved us to a different neighborhood. This man done everything he could think of to try to keep us from running our lives and getting taken away and stuff. And so when we moved to a new neighborhood, it got better. And then he had a girlfriend. So his girlfriend was home with us, and she kind of regulated things a little bit. Right. But we still didn't listen to that bitch either. we were bad, Tom. We were so bad. And I because I was daddy's little girl. I was the only girl. I got 3 older brothers. And so it was like, I can remember the times, like somebody once wrote, like, uh, people say that my father was bad, but I perceived him to be a great dad. And when I tell people, that he was gone so much in this, that, and the other, they feel bad. And I'm like, no, because I remember all the fantastic times. Yeah. Like when I was a little girl, before he would go to work, he would come in my room about 5 a.m. and he would wake me up every morning, and he would sit on my bed and lay on my bed. And he'd be like, all right, sis, I got to go to Hollywood today, or I'll be in Fort Lauderdale, or I'm going up to West Palm. He would tell me where he would be. And he's like, I don't know what time I'll be home. It'll probably be around 8 or 9. He's like, you need to be here when I get here, and blah, blah. So we would sit and have all these conversations. And I remember those, and I loved them because, he would lay on me, and he would tickle me and joke around with me. And he'd be like, well, make sure your brothers get you to school. Make sure your brothers feed you. Right. And then he would go across the hall and kick the door in. He's like, you boys, make sure your sister eats and gets to school. You make, So I remember all those times. And my dad was great, and in my mind, I may have I know people don't agree with the spanking thing, but I'm telling you, I could have got a whole lot more. I would have deserved it because I was meaner, and damn it, and so was my brothers. Yeah. But I love my dad. My dad's a cool dude. We put him through a lot, though. We definitely took years off that man's life. I guarantee it.
Yeah, that's actually a great story. I mean that very seriously. Like you're talking about, like it was hard for him. He's gone a lot, but showing how much he loved you and all that kind of stuff too. It's like sacrificing new jobs, sending you away, and then bringing you back. It shows he loved you. He quit.
Yeah, I mean he was doing everything he could, but we just had mean streaks in us. And the funny thing is like if you listen to him and my uncle tell stories about when they were younger, he was meaner and shit when he was younger. This cat's riding his motorcycle through the high school because they pissed him off. Oh. You know what I mean? Like my dad was he was a wild one. My uncle would tell me stories. Like my uncle's like 6'1" or 2. Well, my dad's like a little bitty dude. He's like, I don't know if he's 5'8" or 9.
Yeah, I remember
that. So he's a smaller dude, but when he was young, he was built like a brick shit house. I mean, he was ripped up. And my uncle's more the jokester. My dad's serious, and he's got his jokes. You got to know my dad. Like some people don't get his sense of humor, but he's actually a pretty funny guy. But my uncle's hilarious. Yeah. So Bill would instigate things with people. Like he would tell me a story. They went down to the college one day, and Uncle Bill and them's in there. They're talking to the chicks, and Uncle Bill's this, that, and the other. And he said he was talking to a football player's girlfriend or something, and the football player came up to him or something, and it was like, yo, that's my woman or something like that. Well, my uncle would be like, hey, Johnny, that's my dad. And dad would come over here like a little bulldog, and he's like, what, you got a problem? Got a problem? And he would just start laying people out because he had a mad temper. Yeah. And like Uncle Bill said, he would just get them into stuff because he knew that it didn't matter how big the dude was or what. My dad was going to knock a guy out and throw hands because he had that. I guess he had like a Napoleon syndrome a little bit. He's like, I'm going to show you. So he had that wild, fiery side, and every one of his kids inherited it. Yeah. So it was kind of like karma. But I feel so bad for how we done my dad when we were kids. Yeah. And he's a good dude. He would give people the shirt off his back. And like my house was the hangout in Florida. Yeah. Like because we had no parents. Dad came home late, so anybody that skipped school or they come to my house. So any given day we would have 20 kids just hanging out at the house and doing whatever we wanted. The only rule was that you had to clean up before you left. Right. Because my dad, if he came home and the house was a disaster, I don't care what time it is, he would wake you up and you would do your chores or he would murder you, So that was the only rule. So like kids would like run away from home and my dad would take them in, or their parents would kick them out and he would take them in. And at any given time, we had 3 or 4 people living with us that were just our friends because he didn't have anywhere else to go. So he was a great guy. He really needed some help and he didn't have it. So I feel bad for all that.
Yeah, but it shows how big a heart he had too, right? To taking in other kids and when you took care of you guys. It's funny though, you talk about that wild side when you're younger. I remember like when I grew up as a kid on the farm, like my parents were pretty strict with me, like it was discipline and all that kind of stuff and doing homework. And I tell you, when I went off to college though, it's like I was a kid in a candy store. So I turned into just a complete animal. I would do things like, sit someplace and eat glass. Like we'd at a bar someplace having a beer and I'd take the glass when I'm done, I'd start eating the glass. And I think back to the things I would do. And I was like, what were you thinking? Like when my kids first went off to college, my oldest one went to college. I'm thinking, God, if he does even half the stuff I did, I'm going to kill him. He's just not, it's a bad scene. So
yeah. So are your kids wild?
No.
Or they got that mean streak in them or?
No, they don't. They're more, my oldest son, he's almost a spitting image of my father, his grandfather.
Oh yeah.
Taller being 6'4", so he's taller than me. Total gentleman, like the way he conducts himself in business, the way he treats his wife, he's just a complete gentleman. My father was the same way. The younger one, Cody, he's maybe got a little bit more
rebellion.
Yeah, but he's really he's an intelligent guy, really doing well in business and everything like that. And he's got his girlfriend he's living with. So yeah, they're a lot more intelligent than their father was, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, my dad, he had a temper a mile long, and every one of his kids, all of us inherited that. And you know what's funny is he actually got that temper from my granny and grandpa, because my grandpa would tell me stories about my granny. She was a school teacher, and she became a principal, and she actually told me the story first. She said that she had a kid that was a little unruly in her class, and he was mouthing and disrespecting her, and like he jumped up and was like, giving her shit, and she picked up a flower pot and busted his ass in the top of the head with it.
Oh,
yeah. And so like all of us, like, I don't know what it is. My grandpa, he was working in the mines one day, and he said somebody had asked him how he was going to marry that old lady, talking about my granny, because she's got a mean streak in her.
Right.
And my grandpa said that the guy had said something that didn't sit right with him.
Yeah.
And he said he took his shovel and hit him square between the shoulder blades and knocked his ass out. And so like there's all these stories and that my grandpa would tell me and my granny would tell me. And then I hear my uncle telling stories about my dad. Right. And it's like, man, like we totally got that temper, right. And it's funny because as we gotten older, like my dad, like his bark is a lot bigger than his bite these days. Right. And he can be people, if you don't know him, like you can take him wrong because he's a super serious guy, but it's just how he is. It's not that he means any harm. Right. And kind of like my grandpa was the sweetest dude you'd ever meet. Give people the shirt off his back. So with age is what I'm saying, that temper has kind of subsided. Yeah. And I'm not as angry as I used to be either. I don't know if it's just we're trying to prove something to somebody. I don't know what it is, but
it's funny. Right? I look at you now and I just like, I couldn't imagine you being like that. Like it's fine. I'm not doubting you at all, but it's yeah.
Tom, I was meaner and shit. I mean, I wouldn't care to smack you right in the head a few times. I think I puffed my chest out kind of like my daddy did. It's like, I'm little and I'm not going to let nobody push me around. I got beat up by my brothers a lot. And it's like, if I don't stick up for myself, ain't nobody sticking up for me. Yeah. So it kind of give me that, you want to mess with me kind of attitude, you know what I mean? Just like my daddy, like people tell me I'm my daddy reincarnated, So but 20 years ago, maybe, but not no more. I'm not like that no more.
Yeah.
I can get fired up, but
Well, that's true. Like same thing to me when I was younger. Like part of it was I thought I was just the toughest guy on the planet too. I really did. Like when I was going off to college, like at 17, 18 years old.
That's not changed. That's not changed. You're like, I'm eating this banana with this pill on it.
I do. I had to be careful, like with this whole virus thing, because I have this mentality. It's not going to get me. It's like it's not touching me, and I had to be careful because it wasn't. We talked about this before. It wasn't just about not me or anybody else getting sick. It's passing on to other people. So I had to kind of stow the King Kong thing for a second.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine that you had an ego when you was younger. I
mean, God!
Listen, your ego's this bad when you're like almost 90. I could only imagine how it was when you was in your 20s, back in the early 1900s.
Now I'm Mr. Wonderful. Like I've got a slight issue with empathy, slight. and that's about it.
Just a little bit. But you know, if people can look past you having any kind of feelings, you know, for them whatsoever, then you're fantastic.
Yeah, I just understand that the feelings are they're down deep inside there. You know, they're not.
Yeah. Well, see, I told you this on the island. I told you reminded me a lot of my dad. Like you're big burly guy. Like you put off this persona, like you're so tough and this and this. Yeah. But you're a good dude deep down, and that's exactly how my dad is. Everybody thinks my dad's so scary, so this, but he's a big softie, and he's a really good guy.
You don't tell me that. I don't tell him that I'm a nice guy.
Yes, I tell him. I tell him, I was like, Tom is a big baby. Day 3, he's crying on the beach because he missed his girlfriend. Yeah, that's what I tell him. And they're like, Tom Laidlaw. And I was like, yes, that dude was, I mean, he was giving it one of these shoulder.
No, it was one of these.
You was doing it.
Wind with sand was coming to my eye. I'm like this. And like, you're crying like, oh, Proby, where's Proby? I miss Proby. We didn't have him more. All this kind of stuff.
I hear you, Tom.
God.
Nobody believes you. I just want you to know. Nobody believes you.
They do. They trust me. They trust me. So what's the next project then? So you got to get the porch done, right?
Yeah. My buddy's coming over here at 11. He's going to help me. We're going to do the roof and the rails today. Oh. Lowe's didn't have any tin. Like they were out of tin. So it's like I got to wait to put the tin on the roof.
How about that? Can't you get that stuff that's like plastic? It's like comes in different colors, like green or clear or whatever. So it kind of lets the sun through and everything. But you know what I'm talking about? Like
I don't want plastic.
Yeah, there's
I know what you're talking about. They make it. It's shaped like tin. It looks like tin, only it's not. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So it lets the sun through and everything.
Yeah, but I don't need a suntan. I ain't trying to.
Do you seriously? Do you lay out like and get tanned? I can see you, right? Like get the little foil thing up over your head there so you get tanned.
No, well, I'm pale because I haven't been out of the house much, and I've been self quarantined, so I've not been leaving. But I got the Indian blood in me, so whenever I get out in the sun, like I get a nice and good brown.
Are you part Native American?
Yeah, my great granny was full blooded Cherokee.
Oh, is that right? Well, I didn't know that. So what's the other part?
My granny. That's on my grandpa's side. My mom's people. Right. My granny was German. Her people were German, and then on my dad's side, down here where I live, my dad's dad, he was Scottish and I can't remember. Scottish, so that tells you part of where the temper comes from. I think there's Irish, Scottish, Irish, and I don't remember what my granny was.
We could be related because I'm Scottish and Irish and English too. Maybe we're cousins or something like that.
Oh, I guarantee our people came over. Well, you came over on a Santa Maria, I know. Oh, we should do that, Tom. We should totally do the Ancestry.com.
Yeah, we'll fight over cousins.
We should do that because, you know, I mean, you got to be from Germany because you look just like Putin.
He's Russian.
He's
Russian.
So somebody lied to you. Is he Russian?
Yeah.
Is he from? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not good with what's it called? Foreign politics. Yeah, so I don't know where in the hell he's from. But you look just like him.
You're working at the United Nations, yeah.
Yeah, dude, we should totally do the ancestry.
You'll probably end up being like relatives with Karishma though, or something like that.
Oh well, Karishma. Wait, Karishma is she Pakistan?
I can't remember. I think it is. Yeah, I think she's Pakistan. Yeah.
Or was it Pakistan?
Yeah, she's probably. I think she's got a little German in there. Maybe she's related to you. Maybe you guys are cousins.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm Native American and German on one side, and then my grandpa was Scottish and Irish, and then I think there was like something else. Like we was a mud of people on the Scott side.
You know what? I just think something. I got to go back to the game. Did you throw me under the bus when Karishma like cut her finger off? Did you say, I really care about you, Karishma, but Tom doesn't? Is that? Did you do that?
No, I went to Karishma. I was like, yo, Karishma, are you okay? And then I don't remember much. I just remember us going and eating rice and stuff after that. And then after that moment, like she was mad at us and I wasn't even there. I didn't throw you under the bus.
I didn't know she was mad at us until I watched the show and I realized, oh, geez, she got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she took it personal. Well, what it was is she felt a certain type of way towards a couple, and then she just grouped us all together and was like, "I hate everybody," and it's like, Charisma, I try to talk to you, and like
You really
I was
feel
in the same boat you was in, like
Did she really feel that way? That wasn't just she was acting like that in the
no,
show?
I mean that's what she said. I mean,
Huh?
that's what she felt that way. She felt a certain type of way. So,
Huh?
can't
See?
go back and fix it now.
And I was in that mode where I was just learning about empathy too. So I was really trying to be empathetic towards her. And
Oh my God, we've got to get you some counseling. Try to
I
get you some.
I was unaware that she'd cut her finger right off, and they had to do plastic surgery right there on the island. Right?
You're so stupid. Tom, come up with some new material. Like my intro. I need a better intro.
What do you want it to be then? Tell me what you want me to say when I
want you to surprise me because I don't want to tell you what to do.
Okay.
Like
all right, perfect. All
I
right.
don't want to boss you around because you have an ego, and I'm not trying to hurt it or anything, and make you do something.
Totally. Don't tell me what to do, okay? Because I know everything. So I know exactly the right way to do it.
Yeah, well, you come up with a little theme song and everything.
I like that.
And open it up. Oh, you should do a rap.
Can you imagine me rapping? Seriously, when I listen to like Ronnie, those guys rapping and all that kind of stuff, what the heck?
I know, that's what I was thinking back because your face, you'd be like.
I honestly, before the show, made an honest effort to say to myself, don't make that face. I've got this face. So when people are doing stuff and everything, I was trying so hard, but every time somebody was doing something, they would have the camera on my face because I kept going like, oh, geez,
Yeah. That was you all the time. It was hilarious, and that's just because you're old and you're not hip with the times. And rap is cool. And Ronnie actually, he's so awesome at beatboxing. But I could see you were like,
yeah, beatboxing. Beatboxing to George Strait. Have George Strait going. He doesn't do any beatboxes. George Strait stands up there, sings the song, and that's it. There's no beatbox.
Tom, can you play any musical instruments?
I bought a guitar back in 1980, and I was going to teach myself how to play the guitar. That guitar has not moved. Actually, it's over in the corner back there in my office.
I was going to say, because I can play the guitar a little bit. We should do a ditty. We should do a ditty together.
I'm a great singer. I'm a fantastic.
Let's write us a country song.
Don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys.
I love that song.
Yep. Don't let them pick guitar and drive them old trucks.
Let them be doctors and lawyers and such. I know the song. See, we should totally put out a CD. Oh my God, we could do a Christmas CD.
Yeah. Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Yeah. Coming over our house Christmas Eve. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do a whole series.
Let's just give the people what they want, Tom.
We do a cooking video, a working out video, we do like a do-it-yourself, like building decks and bars and all that stuff. We can do a whole series.
I mean, I don't know why some stations not pick this up. I don't.
All right. So that's perfect. We got to do it ourselves. Yeah. We'll do it. So right now we got to do it virtually. So the singing, we can do fine. We can do the singing right here like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sell stuff like the cooking we could get done. All right, perfect. We're going to do that. So, but here's the thing though, like if we're going to start at 10 o'clock, like say we're going to do something at 10 o'clock, kind of helps to be there at 10 o'clock.
I was 3 minutes late, Tom. 3 minutes.
If you're in my world, if you're not early, you're late.
Oh, good Lord. Listen, it's because if you didn't get up when you was younger, you didn't eat because you had to go hunt your food there, Davy Crockett.
That's right. Because my sister would eat all the food there around the table. I'd wake up and they won't. There's nothing for Tom. Well, so what, Tom? Get out there and get to work.
Yeah. All right. So we got goals. We're going to.
All right. We're out of here. So we're Tuesday again at roughly 10 o'clock, somewhere in the 7 o'clock to 3 o'clock.
10ish.
Yeah, 10ish. Yeah. All right. So
that's why they invented words like that, Tom. So you don't have to be exact. Ish. 10ish.
Exactly was invented before ish. Right. Ish is a word that was created. There really is no word ish.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. All right. So what we do, so just so everybody knows, so coming up for Christmas, we're going to have our Christmas Carol songs. You guys got any suggestions you want us to sing? Let us know. We're going to do a cooking show. I'll lead the way on that because Elaine doesn't even know how to turn the stove on. We'll do it yourself work and That's going to be interesting. The do-it-yourself stuff will be interesting to see how it turns out.
Dude, Tom, you've got nothing better to do. Once the coronavirus is over, we should start road tripping together.
Yeah, well, we should start doing the stuff that we can do now.
Content.
The stuff like the singing stuff, we should definitely do that right now. We can do that virtually. All right.
Oh, all right.
Okay. We'll put that together.
Right.
We'll put the other video. That'll be good.
Yeah.
All right. Get out of here. I'll see you.
All right. Bye.
All right. That's going to take a couple of seconds. So Elaine always complains when I push the end broadcast button. She complains. She thinks I don't know how to push it, but it takes a few
No.
off. So here we go.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
Tuesday, guys. There's the button. It's